How we doing, everybody? We are here to talk about some comics. Woo! But before we start, remember to like and subscribe. And I'm trying to get the viewership up, the subscriber base up for my channel. So if you could share it out there so I can bring in some new people, that would be great too. And let's talk about comics for this week. There was one Kickstarter book that was like 100 pages, so I didn't get a chance to finish that one. But I will put it on for next week. So we're going to start with Marvel. I have no DC books this week at all. And then I'm going to do my independent. So let's start with Doctor Strange number 3, baby. So this is an interesting kind of filler book. I know it's by the same guy that did Strange, where Clea was the Sorcerer Supreme while Doctor Strange was dead. And this is, of course, with Doctor Strange coming back to the land of the living. And I'm not liking this one as much as I liked the Strange story. I don't know what's going on. So this is really of a filler book where Dormammu comes in. He has some followers, and he talked some of his followers for him to be able to. I guess he comes like once a year just to chat with Doctor Strange. It was really weird. And he says, "Well, I got my followers, and I'm possessing him." And Doctor Strange is like, "Yeah, but the guy whose body it is, you're going to kill the body. So he's going to be dead by the time we finish this conversation." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, whatever." And then suddenly Jean Grey shows up. And I guess she's been linking the mind of the guy he's possessing with the conversation going on. And it gives him the ability of saying, "Yeah, maybe I'm not liking this so much. I'm going to go and get my possession back, get my faculties back, and stuff like that." So that's what kind of happened there. And so he basically beats Dormammu by getting the other guy back to take care of his body and save him, with Jean Grey just showing up. That was strange. And then from there, we have a backup story. Now, why we have a backup story in a Doctor Strange book, I have no idea. He can't be selling that well to do a backup story. And then, we have Nico from The Runaways. And it's got a very anime kind of look to the art. And they beat Dormammu again. He gets beat 2 times in the same issue. I don't know. This has not been one of my favorites. If it doesn't get any better, I'm probably going to drop it. We're only on issue 3. I'll probably give it till 6 to see what happens, see if we get any kind of semblance of a story. Then we have the 20th Century Fox now in print for Alien. And this is basically the sequel to what's going on. They have the new storyline. So they restart it with a new storyline every time. So it goes to 1 through whatever, 5, 6 on a high end, and then they reboot it. And now they have the 20th Century Fox logo here as well as Marvel. And in fact, is the Marvel logo even on here? It's on the bottom. So this I know everybody didn't like the last one with the androids, with the bio androids that they have in Alien. I really liked that. I think it was Joshua Williamson that did that one. I really liked that one. I thought it was different. I know a lot of people didn't like it. This one here, you have a family in the middle of the ice, so it feels very like The Thing. And it's a family that the wife is the researcher, the husband is helping and only has one arm, and they have a daughter. Now, why would they leave 3 people in the middle of an ice-covered wasteland by themselves? I have no clue. Makes no sense. They have no medic. They have no engineer. And even if the husband's an engineer, he has one arm. It's very strange. And so I guess while they've been doing this research, the company has bought the whole lab, and including her research. So they captured them, except for the girl. The little girl's got, I remember in the last issue, has the face hugger, but it was encased in ice when she has it in her backpack. And just as she's about to get captured, of course, the thing crawls out of her backpack, now thawed out, and it face hugs the security guard. And, so it chest bursts and stuff like that. and then they're drilling into the ice for whatever reason, and they find hundreds of aliens in there. And I don't know if there was anything in the previous movies or in the lore that says that these things can live frozen. I mean, I know that it was in space and it kind of didn't freeze up in space in some of the movies, but I don't remember them actually being frozen for long periods of time where they couldn't eat or anything like that and live. I thought that was very strange. I think they're making that crap up because I don't think there's anything that has any inkling to that. So of course, as soon as they break through the ice, these things are immediately live and running around. I don't know. I'm not liking this one as much. It probably only has 2 or 3 more issues left, so I'll bring it out to the end. But this run it's already kind of crap as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so now we're going to some of the stuff I did like. So we have Avengers Beyond. So there's a bunch of different Avengers books going on. This is number 3, but it came off another Avengers run. I forgot what that one was called, but so this is the sequel to it. I don't know why they just didn't continue it, but they started over from number 1. So the whole thing, they had a whole series about them doing odd adventures, and they didn't remember anything. They just kind of appeared there, and finally at the end, they realize it's the Beyonder that's messing with them, and Captain America points at the screen and says, we know it's you, Beyonder, so we're coming for you. We have the Black Order show up, and of course those are the guys from Thanos, and we have a big battle, and then the big baddie shows up because the Beyonder tells them, well, there's this other Beyonder, and he's killing other Beyonders, and I know I'm next, so I need your guys' help. So basically, this big, godlike being needs the help of the Avengers, and they made, Earth the focal point of this battle. And they're doing the best that they can in fighting this, and then the big baddie shows up, and they have, his henchmen locked up, and of course he just shows up and lets her out. And then on top of that, they realized that the Earth's shield faltered, and then it was intact. So it faltered enough for the guy to come in, and then it was intact. And they realized that the Beyonder left Earth and basically left the shield up so that they couldn't get out. So the evil Beyonder is trapped on Earth, and the real Beyonder, or the main Beyonder, is leaving town for them to pick up the slack. So that was a good little twist at the end. I know a lot of people don't like Greg Land's art, but I love it, and I really like what's going on in this book. There's some good fighting going on. It's good to see She-Hulk actually fighting instead of pawning over Jack of Hearts. I stopped reading that crap. So anyway, that's Avengers Beyond. And then we got, this is a book that I don't normally buy, and because I don't buy any real Spider-Man stuff. And that's Venom Lethal Protector. This is number 3. So I love Silver Sable. I read all the Silver Sable stuff in the 90s. Then she dropped off the face of the earth. She didn't exist anymore. So now she's back in this. And in fact, this has the original Nick Fury in it, which you don't see anymore. You see, the Samuel L. Jackson version, because originally he was in the Ultimates. And that's, so the Ultimates, Nick Fury was black, and they made it look like, Nick, about the Samuel L. Jackson long before the movies ever came out. And it looked like him long before. So, of course, when they cast him, everybody was like, of course. The character looked like him from the beginning. But then, after the movies, the white version of Nick Fury pretty much didn't exist anymore. And now he's back in this. And so I guess they're fighting this clandestine organization, and one of his friends was a member of that organization, and they realized there was a connection between them, and he was trying to leave, so they captured him, and they're using him as leverage for Venom. So in the last issue, they crashed a whole helicarrier, but saved a whole bunch of people because they landed in the ocean or in the river. And of course, Silver Sable's like, just put it on my tab, man. So Venom ends up teaming up with Silver Sable, and they're going to go get the guy back. But then Dr. Doom shows up, and he has that crystal that was taken out of the lab or whatever else. And he's just sitting, chilling in a limo. And he's like, the master wants to have a word with you, Venom. And he's like, who? And he just opened the door, and it's like Dr. Doom sitting there having a glass of wine. Anyway, good stuff. I'm really enjoying this Venom series. And again, I don't even collect any Spider-Man stuff. And then we're going to talk about Spider-Man because this is what everybody was talking about. So, of course, I had to buy it. So this is Amazing Spider-Man number 26. This is the penultimate issue that ends this storyline of Mary Jane being trapped in an alternate universe. And time goes a lot faster than it does here. So Peter was trying to get to her, but the time had moved on so quickly that she ended up having a relationship with this other guy. And then they find a couple of kids just kind of hanging out because I guess this dimension's dangerous because the kids were hiding, but not that dangerous that they couldn't build a whole family together. And so by the time Peter shows up to save her, she's like, well, I'm with him. I'm with this guy. So you're too late, bro. You're too late. So, and everybody's kind of laughing at this issue because everybody thinks it's really kind of a joke. So anyway, there's this mathematician villain. Who the hell knows? This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And he's there to kill MJ, and they even come back to the regular our dimension. And the guy is still chasing her for whatever. Gotta kill the redhead. Gotta kill the redhead. I'm like, what are you, Disney? Where redheads can't exist in your world or what? So he goes to kill her, and everybody's like, oh, spread out. And Miss Marvel's there to help them. And I didn't realize that Miss Marvel had the ability to shapeshift. That's a new one for me. So she can shapeshift. Clothes and everything, and shapeshifts into MJ, and he kills her thinking it's MJ. So Miss Marvel dies in this issue. Everybody knew that 2 weeks before the book even came out because Marvel wanted to increase sales for it. So Marvel let out the secret or whatever else. They spoiled it 2 weeks before it came out to boost sales. But no, everybody thinks this book's a complete joke, and I'm one of them. So, and I don't even collect Spider-Man. So yeah, not a good book. Nobody really cares about Miss Marvel. So, and again, they kill off Miss Marvel here. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, her book is canceled at 50. So she's got one more issue left and she's done. So right before the movie comes out, we have no comics with the characters. Photon's done. They had a 6-issue thing. I couldn't even get up through the first issue. It was so bad. So we have all these women characters, and they have no books because they're so badly written. Kelly Thompson should have been off the mark. I collected them all. I have the whole run by Kelly Thompson, and she should have been off that issue 20 issues ago. I mean, she ran out of stuff long ago. The thing's been on, I've been kept waiting for something to happen, and it was been on, cruise control at 20 miles an hour. It's really bad. So anyway, I don't know what Marvel's doing, but they're releasing a $200 million movie with no comic backup right now. And I kind of left this one for last for the Marvel side. So The Punisher, number 12. So this is the end of the Jason Aaron Punisher run. And I know everybody loves this thing. This is like some of people's favorite runs ever for the Punisher. And I cannot disagree more. So, Daredevil's got his thing going on with the fist, right? So Punisher takes over the Hand, okay, which is a ninja organization. And he becomes the Hand of the Beast or whatever. So he has superpowers now. And on top of that, so they take away his guns, and he has swords now. And he has that new demon skull thing on his chest. And that because he did this, the deal was that they would bring back Maria, which is his wife, who, along with his kids, were murdered, which was what created the Punisher. So he was a Vietnam vet because obviously he was created back in the 60s. And when he comes back, he's enjoying time with his family in Central Park. And there's a shootout from gang members, and his family is caught in the crossfire. He takes the bullets, and the rest of the family takes bullets. And they all die except him. So he becomes on this crusade. He never knows who killed his family. This is the regular origin. It's not in these books, but this is the origin story I'm telling you about. And he never knows who it is. And so he just decides that he's going to go after all criminals and wipe them all out. So that's his mission in life, is just eventually he'll get the right guy. And so that's his thinking. So with this deconstructs the character. And I've recorded on this before. So they make him a deadbeat dad who was a murderer when he was a child. And I mean, I can kind of see that, yes, you can't take the war out of the man when he's back. I kind of get that idea. So he was just basically this was a trigger, right? So he's been wanting to go back to war this whole time. So he closes himself off from his family. So that's what makes him a deadbeat dad from the beginning. They're going through therapy, and his wife's not happy. And Maria, instead of them having that happy moment in the park, she was actually going to divorce him. That's the big reveal here so far. That was in the last issue. So now she shoots him. So she shoots him, and then the Avengers come in one at a time and berate him. This is the entire issue that everybody loves. So they deconstruct the character. They make the character a piece of shit. They make Maria a bitch from hell. I wanted to kill her myself during this whole thing. She comes in there and says, I sold all your... This is like... I can't even believe this was written, and I can't believe people like this. She walks in the door after shooting him, whatever else, and saying, I sold all your safe houses. I split the money in half. I have all my money in this duffel bag that I'm taking. That was your money. And then on top of that, all of your half, I donated. So you have nothing. So when you get out of here, if you get out of here, you're not going to be able to feed yourself because you have no money. I hope you have a car so you can Uber drive, because otherwise you're gonna starve to death because you have no money. This is this woman. So instead of, and everybody's like, oh, it's Maria's story. It's Maria's story. Well, this is Maria's story. I don't ever want to have anything to do with her. And on top of that, we have ruined and this is what I hate about messing with canon. So this messed with canon to the point where now their happy time when they were killed in the park, now that origin story is ruined because of this. And people like this. Not me. I will stick with the original. In fact, Greg Rucka's run is still far superior than this. And as good as the artwork was in here, Mike Zeck's stuff is still my favorite stuff. You want to read good Punisher stuff, go back to the beginning and read the Mike Zeck stuff. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is trash. Stop messing with origin stories. That's the problem. They think, the writers think that they can just go into somebody else's sandbox and play around with everything, and it's no big deal. And they do it with Star Wars all the time, and I'm pretty much over it. So if you like that run, great. I'm not one of them. So let's, after my rant there, you can tell I'm a big Punisher fan, right? Because, Punisher's what got me through college. I was reading Punisher. It's when going got tough, I read Punisher because I'm like, look, my life can't get as bad as this guy. And instead I got this deconstruction now where he's a piece of shit. Yeah. Jason Aaron, go mess with somebody else's character. Go mess with something else. So let's get into Mark Millar. So Magic Order, this is a variant cover, which is why it's black and white. And this issue finally hooked me, okay? Because I've been kind of like, since it's volume 4, it's book 4. And now it took me 4 issues to get into this because I haven't read anything else prior, so I didn't understand the characters. I've been trying to get into the characters. But Cordelia, now I know everybody's name. So Cordelia and her other entourage got sucked into the dimension. Meanwhile, you have Lady Albany or whatever else who has now taken over the Magic Order, and they need to get back to fight her. So they meet up with, I guess this is her brother, who's been ruling this dimension, and just basically I don't know if this is his weekend job or whatever else, but he goes into the arena and just kills people. he challenges other mages to battle in this arena, and he kills them. Okay, so, and throughout and this is going to be my critique on this, is that we start at the arena and we end at the arena. So the story goes nowhere. I mean, we learn obviously about this guy, about how he kills indiscriminately, and this was the kind of the cool thing. So Cordelia's partner, who came in with her to this dimension, he's going to fight him first, and he says, "Look, I'm here. I don't want to fight you. I'm here with your sister. The world where you came from, where your sister came from, is in mortal danger because of this other woman, and we need to go over there, and you need to help us defeat her." And I thought that was a pretty compelling argument. And he's like, puts his hand on the guy's shoulder, and he says, You're right. That my sister's in there. I need to help her. She's the most important thing, blah, blah, blah. And I really thought that's where the story was going. And then he turns to some of the security guys, and he says, Bring the man a bucket. And he goes, Why do I need a bucket for? And he goes, For this. And he conjures a whole bunch of hooks that hooks him and pulls him apart into a big bloody mess. So that was pretty interesting. And so I don't know what happened from there. And then he got, that's right. So then Cordelia comes out from the thing, obviously heard everything that's going on, and knew that her partner got killed, and says, I guess she has her wand out, and I guess they're going to fight. But again, all the panels are there's 3 panels per page. The older books like Stanley and stuff like that, yeah, some of them had, just too much dialogue going on. And it was, I forgot which book it was that I was just reading. Was it the Venom one? I think it was Venom, where they had thought balloons. I haven't seen thought balloons in years. So now they're in the little narration boxes. But it was interesting to see, I think there was a Vulture and stuff like that had thought balloons. Very interesting. So, but back then we had 9 panels per page and stuff like that. Here now we have 3. So there's no reason we couldn't have continued this story. It could have been more in this issue. They're underutilizing the issue. Even Mark Millar is underutilizing the issue. The amount of boxes and stuff like that in here. So, I don't know why, but I felt like there could have been more story in here, and there wasn't. So that's my only complaint, but this book finally got me into it, where I'm excited to see the next issue. And the same thing with this one. So this is Hunt, Kill, Repeat, and it's this is my last one, and it's and this is Athena, I believe. Yes, Athena, and the gods basically remove her, Zeus specifically, removes her baby. She was married to a human. They couldn't stand that. They killed the human. They took this. So it's very Kill Bill, So it's kind of like the bride from Kill Bill. And she has to go to Tartarus. They don't call it Tartarus, though. They call it Tardis. I think like that, but I think it's Tartarus. And of course, you see that's their version of Cerberus with the 3-headed dog. And it was very interesting, too, because the ship that she's on, so that Charon is the shipman He's the boatman that brings people to Tartarus, which is the city of the dead. And I was like, okay, she gives him the coin, but he's huge, right? He's big. He's like a giant. And I didn't realize it at the time when I looked at it, but he had the ship was on the back of his head. So he literally comes out of the water. So he and gets the payment and then goes back into the water, and then the ship is on the level of the water. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I've never seen anything like that before, but it was interesting. But I had the same problem with this one. So she goes and gets Hephaestus back, and the big reveal for this is that Hades tells her that her child is alive. And I found that really interesting, so I'm waiting to see what happens next issue. I know a lot of people don't like this book because it is so Kill Bill-ish, but I love Greek mythology, so I really love this book a lot. And but again, there's just not enough story in it. They could have done so much, because everything that happens here is Zeus visits Apollo and says, yeah, I know she saved your life before. And, they see a little hunting thing when they were younger of Athena and Apollo together, and she saves Apollo's life in that. And of course, that's what Zeus holds over his head. And she's like, he's like, no, I'm going to take care of her. Don't worry about it. And then we go into, her going to Tartarus and getting Hephaestus back. And she gives for in exchange, she gives her soul to Hades. And that's when Hades tells her about her own son. She says, after I kill Zeus, you can have my soul. It's all good. So it's very interesting. I like this one a lot, too. I like Magic Order a lot. Didn't like Punisher. And didn't like Spider-Man. So Venom and Avengers and the 2 independent books are literally my only suggestions for this. Even Doctor Strange. I don't know how you can mess Doctor Strange, especially when you did Clea so well. I don't know what Zeb Wells is doing. But anyway, hopefully it gets better. But anyway, so remember that we just unlocked our first stretch goal for Destiny Aurora.
Immerse yourself in the wildly successful Destiny Aurora universe. The release of the audiobook version marks the newest addition to the franchise. Follow the thrilling adventures of the starship Destiny Aurora and its crew as they hunt for the alien assassin who murdered Jace Carver's wife. Their epic confrontation will change Jace's life forever and keep readers guessing till the end. Go to the link below and listen to the first chapter absolutely free.
I'm going to be on Bone Bridger tomorrow, I believe. So I need to prepare for that on his channel. And then Larry Nemechek is going to do a little shout out on his Trek channel for Destiny Aurora. So hopefully we can get another stretch goal unlocked. I was really hoping to hit the 7,500 mark so that I could get the second book produced for the audio, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but I was hoping I was going to get there so I can get everybody a free audio book. But anyway, so there's that, and we're starting to do layouts for Lords of LA issue 4. So 3 is just about done, and as soon as we finish this one, I'm going to end up launching Lords of LA probably in the next 30 days or so. So anyway, look for that. And just remember to like and subscribe. And we are still fulfilling Tales of Ravenor. I got the hard copy in. It's looking great. I fulfilled probably over the last couple of days 35 pledges. So if you did pledge, you'll start to see if you the hardcovers are on order, so I don't have those. But the softcovers, if you order a softcover, you're going to start seeing it in the mail. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Help me grow the channel up, and I can start doing live streams and things to that effect, and we can have conversations about independent filmmaking. And I don't know who's interested in that, but I can definitely talk about independent filmmaking and creation of comics. If you're looking to get into comics and start doing your own, I can definitely talk about all that stuff. All right. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.